And let's give Dr. Roger Cleveland a hand.
Good morning, everyone. Where's my Fleming County folks? All right, I'll see you all Monday. All right, Flemingsburg's in the house. Well, Lexington Catholic folks. I've heard y'all at games and stuff like that. Y'all can go a little louder than that. All right, so David Wu gave me the instructions, which I'm not going to follow, to talk about issues around race and things of that nature. But I'm going to take a different route for a second. I want to talk about what took place in Parkland, Florida, and not the tragedy itself, but how the students there have responded to that. And I would like for, whether you're from Fleming County High School or Lexington Catholic High School or any high school in the Commonwealth, to take heed to how those students are fighting through that tragedy and taking action and forcing us adults to pay attention to what's going on in our schools. And so it's a refreshing to see 15, 16, 17-year-olds actually become change agents. And as you go through this morning today, I want you to be open-minded, okay? I want you to be comfortable about being uncomfortable, okay? Because I know you all can do that. I want you all to do not be a prisoner of the pronoun. It ain't about I, it's about us, correct? And so I really want you to be open. And I want you also to think about collective consciousness. You know, I know we turned, if I email you from my phone, which David can attest to, or President Angelucci, or even Brian Creasman from Fleming County, or Stephanie Emmons, that if I email you from my phone, the last thing it says stay woke. And I know it's almost becoming a cliche now, particularly for our young folks, but we were staying woke a long time, probably before y'all were born. And stay woke basically means collective consciousness, being aware of what's going on. And because if you have collective consciousness and aware of what's going on, then there's no such thing as my side of the boat is sinking. Because when the boat sinks, we all go down, correct? And so when you want to be woke, you want to be conscious about the things that are going on, not only in your community, but also in the Commonwealth of Kentucky and also globally and things of that nature. And so one way to do that, to get collective consciousness, to look at ourselves and how we're addressing that. And part of that is, how many of y'all ever been across the Golden Gate Bridge? Okay, in California. Well, hopefully you didn't go during rush hour or during the fog, which could happen at the same time, really, if I've been there about 4 or 5 times, and so you gotta be really careful on Golden Gate Bridge. But anyway, they was building the Golden Gate Bridge in the early 1930s, and they had to convince the community to pay all this money to build this bridge. And so one of the first things they did was lay the foundation, okay, to support the bridge. And so it took them like 2 or 3 years to lay the foundation underneath the water. And a lot of times, when people don't see things taking place, they assume there's nothing going on. And so right now, today, at this youth summit here at Lexington Catholic, and bringing 2 schools together like Fleming County and Lexington Catholic High School, you are laying the foundation to be our next leaders around issues around equity, diversity, and inclusion. Now, folks are not going to see it. They only know what's going on in Lexington Catholic this morning on this rainy day, because most of them are still laying in bed playing Xbox and Minecraft and all this other stuff, right? But you all are change agents. Y'all are laying the foundation today, February 23rd. And so as they laid the foundation, people were like, there's nothing going on. You know, we paid all this money. So they laid the foundation to support the bridge. The next thing they did, they created these huge standards, okay, on the side of the bridge to support the bridge. And that's the next thing you have to do. After you lay the foundation, you all have to stand for something. And what we're asking for you all today is to stand for each other. You stand for diversity, you stand for inclusion, okay, and you stand for diversity. And so they had to stand up, they had to build the standards to support the bridge. The last thing, which I think is most important when you start talking about issues around racism and sexism and classism and homophobia and things of that nature, is that the last thing they did, they had these huge metal cables. And they had to stretch the cables across from one end to the bridge to the other. And so what I want you all to do today, as we start talking about the hard conversations, I want you all to stretch yourselves, okay? Be comfortable about being uncomfortable. And once they finished that, that bridge supported a lot of people that are very different to go across that bridge every single day, from different backgrounds, different ethnicities, and things of that nature. And I know he talked about racism. My grandmother used to say this, that when you mention racism in a crowded room, it gets so quiet you can hear a rat pee on cotton, because nobody wants to talk about it. But the reality is that race is what we call a social construct. We created race. Ethnicity is real, okay? Race is a way to divide people. Now, it's real. It's part of the fabric of this country, and that's why we have racism. But the reality is that we have, the real issue is culture and ethnicity, common characteristics. Race is a way to create social stratification and to divide people. Because at the end of the day, when you get past this, the DNA is pretty close to the same, you know? And so that's what we have to think about. And so the last thing I'm gonna tell you is this. So when you enter this activity, this situation today, I want you to think about what you're gonna give. Because we can learn from everyone in this room, okay? We learn from everyone in this room. Think about what you're going to give. You know, when you're, I just flew back from Houston last night, and doing some work out there with a very diverse school district, our fourth largest school district in the country, and it's very diverse. And we're talking about issues around equity and inclusion in Houston. And you know, when you get on an airplane, they give you all these instructions and things of that nature about the seat belts and things of that stuff. But one of the things they tell you is that in case of loss of cabin pressure, an oxygen mask will drop down. And they tell you to put your mask on first before you assist anyone else. So before we can help anyone else about racism, sexism, homophobia, classism, whatever, we gotta help ourselves first, right? Put your mask on first. And so I'll leave you with this about focusing as an individual, but coming collectively together, is out of the night that covers me black as a pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. Within the failed or clutched circumstances, I've now winced and cried aloud. Under the bludgeoning chance, my head is bloodied, but unbowed. Beyond this place in wrapped in tears looms the horrors of the shade, and yet the ministry of years shall find me unafraid. It matters now how straight the gate, or charge the punishment of the scroll, for I am the master of my fate, I am the captain of my soul. Fleming County, Lexington Catholic, stay woke. Thank you.